And hello, everyone. I'm Ginger Gadsden. I'm joined now by Caden Carter with Ace Hardware Association of Central Florida. You're president, right? Okay, so we're talking about getting ready for hurricane season. And it's always a good idea to do it before you get your first storm. What do you tell people who come into one of your stores?
Yeah, Ginger, you hit the nail on the head. It's always better to prepare now than to wait. What we find is, when we're trying to get things ready last minute, and you're not thinking clearly, and you're running around scavenging. We have all this great stuff in our stores now that's easy to shop. There's no stress. What we recommend doing is getting a tub like this. We sell these at the stores.
Okay.
And everything here you can get in one stop at the stores.
Yeah.
And so you could get a tub like this, then walk.
So what kind of tub is this? What are we talking about?
It's just a 5-gallon tub. You could do bigger or smaller depending on your family size.
Okay.
But it's something where you can put it's basically a hurricane kit is what we're building here.
Gotcha.
And so you can put all the supplies in it, put your lid on it, label it on the side, hurricane supplies, and leave it in the garage for if and when you need it.
Yeah. So what should I have in this hurricane kit?
Yeah, good question. So some really essential things, batteries, lanterns and flashlights.
All right.
Those are really important in case oftentimes we lose power, We have bungee cords and tarps. This is really important too. And
What are bungee cords going to be used for?
okay, good question. It's for the tarps to hold them down, right? So there's different things that you may want to cover. A lot of times, even after the storm, we may have some roof damage.
Yeah.
And it's really important that we can put those up to prevent further damage and water getting into the house and whatnot.
All right.
So some of this stuff will even help you after the storm when things are still, we're still feeling the effects of that. Batteries are again, the flashlights, like a portable cooking stove.
So what is that? What you have right there? Tell me a little bit about that.
Yeah, it's just a small portable stove, like a camping stove that you could hook a small canister of propane to, which we sell in the store also, to cook canned food or different foods you may have at the house, and if you lose power.
Is this something we could use inside?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely. And we also sell propane. We have lots of propane. Really important. Go fill your propane tanks.
Yeah.
Go buy an extra propane tank because it's never a great time to grill when you don't have power,
Sure,
right?
and it's not going to go to waste.
And it's not going to go to waste. It doesn't go bad.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, so you get your hurricane kit together, you keep it somewhere where it's convenient, and you have all this stuff in there, and that's what you're going to use during the storm. And you say that very often you need stuff for after a storm too, and you seem to have some things like this thing I feel like you're going to need after the storm.
Yes, we sell a lot of chainsaws after the storm, a lot, hundreds. And the reason being is because, there's a lot of debris down. Some people, when we had the last storm, they weren't able to get out of their driveways. And so just to leave their driveway, they had to make a few cuts. And it may not be that you're clearing your whole yard with it,
Sure.
but just for different situations. So it's always a good idea to get these now. Last year, or when we had the big storms in the past, we do everything we can to stay in stock on this. And what's really cool that a lot of people don't know is that every single Ace store here in our local community in Central Florida, they're all individually owned. And so each one of us own those stores, and we live right here in the same neighborhoods, in the same community. So we're experiencing the same thing. So are the people that work in the stores. And what's really neat is during the last storm, we stayed open all the way up until the hour before the curfew stopped.
Yeah.
And then after the storm, when they lifted the curfew, we came out, we opened the store. A lot of the different Aces, you guys have probably heard stories of ones in your community. But for us, we opened the stores. We had no internet, no power, and so no phone lines, but we were all wearing headlamps.
Yeah.
And walking around the stores, getting items for people in the dark and handwriting tickets for different things people needed after the storms to help clean up, trash bags and different things. But an easy way to prevent all that is to prepare now. And so that's an important takeaway.
And the other thing I think about too is that, Florida is a great place for people to move to. And every year, even in our own newsroom, I see it. This is their first time living in Florida during hurricane season. What do you say to someone who's lived across the country where hurricanes don't impact them, and this is their first time maybe having to deal with something?
Yeah, absolutely. I'd say definitely listen to the local authorities. We've heard earlier if they say evacuate, evacuate. You know, that's number one. But right now, preparing, it's as simple as coming to one of the ACE stores where we have tons of staff that would love to walk you through setting up one of these kits right now, and just get local advice. Tell us about your situation. Are you living alone? Do you have a lot of trees in the yard? Do you need a generator? You know, we sold over hundreds of generators during the last storm. In fact, because we're locally owned, when other big box stores were running out of supplies, what's really neat is we're able to pick up the phone and make orders right there on call, and we were able to get shipments brought in out of segment. So when other people weren't able to get trucks, we were still getting trucks in, and a lot of us were even driving our own trucks and renting box trucks to drive to warehouses to get product and come back and stay in stock.
Yeah. You know, the other thing I find, because I go to the Ace Hardware in my neighborhood, it's not intimidating because it's not a giant box store. It's manageable, and you always see someone, you look for the red shirt, you see someone, you can ask them questions. And if you're new and you think, oh God, I have some stupid questions, I have no idea, I'm from the Midwest, we deal with tornadoes, but we don't deal with hurricanes. If someone is new and there's an Ace Hardware in their neighborhood.
Yeah, absolutely. We have 55 stores right here in Central Florida. And don't be shy. Come in. We're neighbors helping neighbors. It's just that easy, casual. And we'll walk you through the entire process and tell us about your situation. And we'll listen and do everything we can to get you prepared. And, you know, we have different things. You may ask,
let's talk about some more stuff that you had, because you brought a lot of things down here. I'm starting to see why they call it the helpful place.
Yeah, you may wonder, like, hey, Kate, why is there a gas can here? Why would I need that for the house?
Yeah.
Well, in a lot of back in the day, weather radios were really popular. That's what everyone turned to, and we still sell those today. However, everyone's got a cell phone now. But if your house doesn't have power, how are you going to charge it, right?
Sure.
Well, you can use your vehicles. If you have a phone charger for your vehicle, so a lot of people will do that. But we say, well, it's hard to get gas when there's no power. The gas stations don't have power. We'll always get a couple of 5-gallon bucket gas cans.
So they can see the size you're talking about.
Yeah, you definitely want to get a few of the 5-gallon gas cans. And with this,
and you fill that, and where do you keep it?
Yeah, good question. Fill this up. Keep this. You can keep this in your garage if you'd like.
Okay.
You can keep it in the garage. There's no problem with that. That way, after the storm, you can continue to have fuel for your vehicle when that may not be available.
Sure.
And then Yeti Coolers are really convenient. Reason being, if you don't have power, you're only going to have so long for your food to really stay good. And these things hold ice for a long time. Forever. Like, over 48. So you fill it with ice, fill it with all your frozen foods, and it's going to help that stuff stay good for a while. I have a water cooler here.
How big is this one?
Yeah, this is a 5-gallon water cooler.
Okay. So 5 gallons seems to be the theme.
And so another thing, people, we recommend you have 2 gallons of water per person per day.
Okay.
One for consumption, right, to drink, and then the other one for hygiene, things to think about, right? So we recommend getting one of these that you can fill up for your for you to consume, for you to drink, you and your family.
How soon can I do this?
Yeah, I would do it. Honestly, if you're staying at home and they're calling for the storm is coming, when they say, okay, this is when the curfew starts, that's when you want to have everything ready and be bunkered down. So I would say fill that up right before, probably before the curfew starts.
Okay.
And then another thing that a lot of people don't know about, but again, these are people who've lived in Florida their entire lives.
Yeah.
It's a no-brainer, but for new people coming in, it's like, wow, I didn't think about that. But we sell tub stoppers. And so you can fill up your bathtub with water before the storm.
Okay.
And then you can get at the stores, we have 5-gallon buckets or 1-gallon buckets. You can use those to pour into the top of the toilet. So you can use the toilet if you need to without power, if the plumbing's not running.
Something you just don't think about. You just don't think about that. Okay. So now you've got the batteries, which will power, of course, your lanterns and everything, and your flashlight. But if you've had these batteries for several years, is it a good idea to get fresh ones, or how long will they last?
Yep, good question. On the back, they usually have expiration dates.
Okay.
And different ones last longer than others. Some may last a couple of years. They have some now that last over 5 years, some 10 years. So if you've had one of these kits for a while, and most of our Floridians have used it in the last couple of years, right? Yes. Then it may be, if you haven't used it, it may be a good idea to check the expiration dates on your batteries.
Okay.
But most, I'd say on average, 5 to 10 years, depending on the battery, they'll last.
Yeah, and make sure you put it in there and make sure it works before the storm actually hits, so you got power and you're not surprised.
You hit the nail on the head. So the storm's coming, you know it's coming. go ahead, pull your kit out, get everything, the batteries put in, get your water filled up, and get everything prepared before she comes,
Sure.
right?
Okay. If you could only get maybe a couple of these things you see here on the table, what's your top 3 or top 5 you'd recommend?
Yep. I would say I'll just share with you the things that go the fastest.
Okay.
Okay, because there may be other things that are really important, but if they're easily available, then it's not that. So I would say gas cans go really quick when there's a storm coming, and you'll see the lines at the pumps. Yeah. Every once in a while. So get the gas cans, and the cool thing is you can get gas cans right now and still use them, and have them. They don't go bad, more or less. I would say if you live in a wooded area, the chainsaws go really quick. They're really hard to find. After we do a really good job, we were sending flatbed trucks to our supplier here in Orlando. We were able to stay in stock in most of the stores. We sold hundreds of chainsaws, but they do go pretty quick. Other items, batteries, definitely flashlights go really quick in the stores. The lanterns are really handy. You think a flashlight, right? But a lantern's so nice.
You can just sit that puppy down and have dinner at the table or whatever. Yeah.
During the last storm, it was me, my wife, my daughter, my mother. We had our mother with us. We were all together, and we had a couple of these around the house, and it lit it great. And we were able to have dinner and be comfortable. It was like a little camp out. We were out without power for 2 weeks. However, however, this is a big one, and it's not on the table. We have it right behind us.
Oh, the generator.
Generators are amazing. If you don't have one, you've considered getting one, come to the stores today. We got them in the stores. Yeah. And with that we were able to plug in our fridge. We were able to run our well pump, to have water at the well. We were able to hook up some lights to it, and that made that 2 weeks a lot more comfortable.
Yeah,
a lot more comfortable.
That's fantastic. Okay, anything else you really need to talk about at this table? I feel like you've covered it. I see you have some paper plates and everything, and a manual can opener. That's important too.
A lot of people forget the can opener. It's funny, but
they've got the bottle opener, like for the beer or the wine.
We see this all the time. People have just mountains of canned goods, but there's no can opener in the house. And then we have a few sandbags. So if you live in an area that's prone to flooding, get the sandbags now, so you'll have that. Charcoal, right? If you have a charcoal grill, a lot of people get the charcoal. And remember the lighter. Yeah. Remember the lighter. Yes. So we have some lighters down there, matches.
Keep it someplace dry.
Yeah, keep it someplace. Exactly. I would recommend that people take their records, birth certificates, social security cards, all those important records, and have those in a dry storage also somewhere when they know the storm is coming, so that will be available for them.
Well, you are a wealth of knowledge. Thank you so much, and I hope that people take this seriously. And if you have all this stuff and then you don't need it, thank goodness you don't need it, but you have it for next season and the season after that.
If you have all this stuff and a storm comes, I promise you there will be someone in your community or neighborhood that will be ever thankful that you did it. And we've been doing this a long time. All the local dealers in the neighborhood. We've all been through the storms ourselves because we've lived here our whole lives. Yeah. And so don't be shy. Come in. Let us help you with it. We really enjoy it. We'll have a lot of fun doing it. And it'll be a good experience.
It's fun doing it now. It's not fun when you don't have power and you're trying to help a bunch of people. Kate, thank you so much. So go to your local Ace Hardware store. Give these guys a shout out. They will help you. That's why they're here for you. So thank you so much. This has really been helpful. I learned a couple of things too. So Kate Carter, thank you so much from your local Ace Hardware store. Remember, they're the helpful place. Is that right?
Exactly. Exactly right. Neighbors helping neighbors, guys.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you, Ginger.